Hey, what's going on, fighters, YouTubers? This is Asama Taka from Team T.L.P. doing us flying with a solo video about pretty much a deck profile about my main deck, my Bermuda Triangle deck. It's a double chain ride, as you probably heard or seen once before in a match that I played with one of my teammates. Right now, I'm just going to show you pretty much what's inside the deck. We're going into it, into detail. Now, to start off simply, with a double chain ride, I'm not exactly sure how effective it is, but in my style, because I like to be a scientist about things when I'm experimenting with Vanguard, I like to have hand power. In more or less a sense like OTT wise. Because, say for instance things don't seem to go your way, eventually people are going to start to come at you with high numbers, especially if you're grade locked, and you weren't able to reach a certain point, a certain grade 2 or a grade 3 during your chain ride. You have to find a way to break the code. So eventually you'll have to ride with something different. So this is where draw triggers come into play. And at some point you're going to say, I guess draw triggers is enough. Now that I have enough hand power, now I want some attacking power. Now I want to be able to hit for high numbers, be able to hit for more damage. And this is where crits come into play as well. So you want a decent amount of crits. So what I have in here is 6 draws and 6 crits. In other words, that's your 12 triggers right there. And then to wrap it up, you have 4 heals. That's pretty much my trigger lineup for this deck, because I sort of like it that way. I have power, and then I have hand power for defense and offense, and then I have means of being able to heal at certain crucial moments when when the time comes, hopefully, when I feel like I'm going to be able to stay alive. Now you have the starters. Just as I said before, since this is a double chain ride, you have Coral, the Grade 0, and Revere. You have those two. Now, having those two means in the start of every game, you have the option of picking either one of those beginner chain ride cards. If you're feeling lucky and you want to start with Revere, you can start with Revere and hope that you get the grade 1 right after you're done with your shuffle and recycle. Or you can start with Coral and then do it that way. There's 2 different ways. This is the reason why. See, with this deck, you have more options. You have variety. So it doesn't really matter which one you decide to pick. Either way, you'll still get what you want, possibly. The chances are extraordinarily high. So, more or less, there isn't really a loser here. And also, it's not all about luck. Also, if you're starting off with a specific grade 0, say for instance you don't get the 0, even after you do the shuffle, you draw, you do the recycle, and you do the redraw, and you still don't get a grade 1. But instead you get the different grade 1 for a different grade 0. So instead, just break the code. Or, if you're playing Coral, for instance, you could bring Coral back if you have the grade 1 Revere and just break the code. And then after that, ride Revere, get the 1000 power, now it's a 10k. And then right after, just get the grade 11 with the grade 3. Or, say for instance, you have Coral. You have Coral, You ride the grade 1 Coral, which I have 4 grade 1 Corals in here. And after you ride the grade 1, you ride the grade 2. But instead of riding the actual grade 2 Coral, you ride the grade 2 Revere. Bing bada boom, you have a combo, So it's check the top 7 after you ride the grade 2 Revere over the grade 1 Coral, and then suddenly you got the grade 2 Coral within the 7 cards that you drawed. Bam! Superior ride. Now you have the grade 2 Revere and the grade 2 Coral and Soul. So it doesn't even matter which one you go about doing. Now you can either ride the grade 3 Coral or the grade 3 Revere. So either way, no matter which one you ride, both of them be 11k. So right then and there, you already have an 11k event card no matter which route you take. So it's brilliant. It's right then and there is brilliant. I'm not really sure if this has already been made up or done. I don't really know, but this is pretty much my form of doing things. But other than that, that's pretty much the chain riding combo and different varieties and ways of doing it. With Revere, you don't have that, if you don't get the grade 2, ride over and hope to superior ride the grade 2. Revere doesn't have that. So more or less, when you're playing with Revere, you want to just go off of, if I don't get the grade 1, just go off of something else. Not that I'm saying you don't have something to fall back off of, but say for instance you manage to get the grade 1 after the grade 0, but you don't get the grade 2, just ride something over different. It doesn't make a difference. It's not going to completely destroy your strategy overall. Besides, look at it this way: if you don't get the grade 1, the grade 2, right, and you have sorry. Anyway, say for instance you have the grade 2 in Soul, and then you ride Pacifica. Pacifica's skill, as we all know, is with every turn that you with each turn you have to soul charge, and then you also have to draw a card. So taking hopes that with every soul charge that you do, suddenly you soul charge into grade 2 for Revere. And after you have Pacifica on, if you have the grade 3 Revere in hand, just ride it over right after that. Or, say for instance you're going for a power play, yeah? And, you know, you have Pacifica, you soul charge, right? And then you soul charge into grade 2. Then you ride over Vert, break ride. And then as soon as that happens, because you didn't follow the chain ride, now that you have the grade 2 and soul due to Pacifica, yeah, that's just a doorbell. Now that you have the grade 2 and soul thanks Pacifica soul charge, now you can just ride Revere along with the break ride. So that's 21 right there. So you're already hitting for 21 now that you have the grade 2 and soul. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it works. And everything else, you know, you have Minato for the for setup within every ride that you do for the 10K. So you have Pacifica. If you ride, you know, a random grade 3 with Pacifica right after, you get Minato gets a power. Then you do the cross ride, Minato gets a power. Or you do Pacifica and then you ride Vert over Pacifica. That's Minato for more power. Minato's just there for the constant riding and extra 10K power. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Then you have the PS for that one time that you need a perfect guard. And then, you know, the other grade 2s are just there for support, like Flute, 4 more cards on the field. You get the power. Charlotte's in there to swap. So say for instance you have Minato in hand. Then all you have to do is just get the hit with Charlotte, put Minato on the field early before the grade 3, and then as soon as you ride something, Minato gets a 10K power. And then you have Melville, checking for a grade 3 during a drive track, and you can swap a card and play a card. Same thing for Charlotte, except you're swapping after a check. So yeah, everything seems to have a really strange follow-up. So it's actually pretty solid. This is Team T.L.P. Asama Taka here with my deck profile, my Bermuda Triangle. See you guys later.